Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen Odd and these are Karen's Oddities. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Regardless, I do want to ask that you give this video a thumbs up, comment your thoughts below, even if you disagree with my content. And I also want to ask that you share this video and our channel with one person you know, as I'm confident there is something here that both you and they can benefit from. In today's video, we're talking about Married at First Sight, the last episodes that dropped, which were 9, 8, and 7. 7, 8, 9. I had to think about it backwards. I'm going to do a brief recap. I'm breaking it down per couple versus going in chronological order of how things happen. But essentially, briefly, episode 7, they had dinner as a group, and I'm sure that each of them were required to call out the other person or the other couples on their BS. The following episode, they did like family visits and such. And then the third episode, they did group therapy with the relationship experts. All right. So for starters, I'm going to start with Melissa and Adam. Adam is so immature. Adam is so immature. And when I wrote this down shortly after, Marissa's basically like, I wish you were more mature. They were talking about cooking and she mentioned something about hibachi and he made a joke about catching things in her mouth. And I'm just like, 1, this is your wife. 2, you guys are in your, are they in the early 30s? I don't know. Everyone looks early 30s, but I feel like they're younger. And 3, this is on national television. Even if you make jokes like that, it's like degrading and rude and disrespectful to your wife, in my opinion, right? And just in general, like every conversation they have had seems extremely surface level. Like I've never seen them get deep. I've never seen him ask any questions where he actually wants to get to know who she is as a person, and she hasn't either, right? So my dog is hyperventilating. I don't know why. I just got back from the grocery store. My second note is Adam thrives and needs external validation. So it happens a couple of times, and it does get called out at the last episode that released, but the outfit that he chooses to wear at dinner is like a 2-piece floral loud outfit, and he wears this hat with like feathers in it, and he's just talking about like his outfit and his bird watching and his jet skiing and the sound that he plays from his jet ski and him like watching eagles and like having all these eagles, and it's just like, just shut the fuck up already. Just shut up. Shut up. Like he can never stop talking. He can never stop talking about himself. That's all he talks about, and everything that he talks about is material based. It's nothing of substance. And it's getting pretty old. And also, I don't live off the water, but I'm very content with the home that I live in. He lives off the water, and he talked about this lake house, like how amazing it was, and like how he makes all this money. The lake house wasn't giving. It was giving shack. It was giving Timu. It was giving fixer upper. It was giving rundown. It's not giving everything that you're trying to portray, like this image that you're trying to portray. And then you have a roommate that sleeps on the floor. My note says, get rid of the roommate. Like if you're a grown adult, I get that your friend doesn't have a place to live. Your friend needs to figure it out. Your friend needs to call their mom, their dad, their sister, their brother, their cousin, their aunt, their uncle, and figure it out. Or help your friend get a job and help your friend get on their feet and get someplace to live. Like, don't have a roommate sleeping on the floor. It's very much giving bachelor pad. The whole 3 episodes, like he kept referencing like, yeah, like we're vibing, you know, there's a vibe, like, yeah, we're gonna vibe through decision day. And it's just like, shut up. He's stupid. He's annoying. I'm tired of seeing him. So in the last episode where they're doing therapy as a group, Paul, I think his name is Paul, like the guy that replaced Pastor Cal, calls him out. Like he came in straight shooting, okay? And he starts with Adam, because Adam walks in. His shirt was very cute. I loved it, right? He decided to leave the tag on it. I don't know why. I think he thrifted the shirt. I don't know why he left the tag, but I think he's done that before, which he's probably returning it. I don't know. Why would you do that, right? The shirt was very beautiful. I love the print. It was like it was like a vintage Versace giving. It probably wasn't though. He walks in with the shirt completely open. No undershirt, no nothing. It's like he wanted to make a grand entrance. It's giving Leo. It's giving narcissist. It's giving needs validation. It's giving piece of shit. It was so annoying. And then he's like, well, I guess I'll button this up. And it's just like, okay, my guy. Like you're starting to annoy me and you're doing like the slightest things and you're a grown ass man. Like stop being stupid. You should have walked in with the button shirt. I don't give a fuck if it was hot. Because he's like, I had my shirt unbuttoned, you know, it was really hot walking up here. Okay, then button it when you get inside, stupid ass. It's not hot inside. There's AC. So why would you walk in with your shirt unbuttoned, exposing your whole body? Like, nobody wants to see that. I don't care how 6'8", nobody wants to see that, okay? So he gets called out directly on his, like, use of, like, his outfits and his humor, trying to deflect from, like, whatever he's feeling or whatever he doesn't want to address. Like, Paul calls it straight out. And then Adam tries to, like, make a joke. Paul shuts it down again. And you can see Adam's face, like, he's so annoyed. I think he's embarrassed. He feels disrespected. He feels called out. And he feels vulnerable and completely seen. Because Paul is seeing right through his bullshit and calling it out. And it's like, thank God. Like, I love that about this. Yes, do I miss Pastor Cal and all the other people? Sure. But what I do love is that in this season of Married at First Sight, we're calling out the bullshit. We're asking the direct questions. And I think this reunion, if they're on that same tip, it's going to be the best reunion we've ever had. Because at some point, like, finally, we're going to call out the real things that everyone's seeing at home, right? My notes say Adam was pissed at being called out. They try to do an exercise where they try to get him to be vulnerable. Marissa is vulnerable. She talks a bit about her father. As soon as she starts to talk about it, she tears up. She starts crying. He says what he knows he's supposed to say, because at this point, cameras are on him. They're on his ass. They've already called him out. So he says, you know, I'm really sorry that brings up those feelings for you. I look forward to talking more and learning more about your father. Because she says, we've never really talked about it. We've never talked about anything deep. We've never really talked about my dad. And I think he knows about my dad, but I don't think he really knows much about it. They ask him to share something vulnerable. His sharing was, you know, I mentioned to you, like, my last 2 relationships, like, I got cheated on. And it was really hard for me. And I went to therapy and I worked on myself. And, like, I was really proud of working through that. So the experts are like, okay, thank you for sharing. And he's like, good talk. The fact that he said good talk pissed me off, because I know that's, like, his way of, like, still making a joke and taking a jab at the exercise. But it's like, you're an idiot. And when you watch this back and your family and friends watch this back and they watch this back or hit this back at the reunion, you're going to see how you're coming off like an idiot. Nick and Courtney. I'm trying to be nice, but I got to be honest. I have to be honest, right? And I'm going to be honest. Nick and Courtney, my notes say, Courtney needs therapy. And I'm not trying to, like, shame or judge, because I'm in therapy. I think we can all use therapy. We all got things we need to work on, things we need to improve. Courtney needs therapy. Her being openly willing to share with Nick that she tolerated being cheated on because she didn't want the person to leave. She mentioned a couple times across these 3 episodes that her experience with sex was not a good experience. So we don't know exactly what she means by that. But from my, like, just inferring, I can imagine that either there was some sense of incompatibility, or someone, like, crossed her boundaries, and which is really, really terrible. Either one isn't terrible, right? But one of them is more egregious than the other, which this is what she says is keeping her at bay. Like, sometimes and I'm like that too. Sometimes I just want to make out. Like, I just want a hot and heavy makeout session. I want to rub up on you with our clothes on. Sometimes I don't want to go all the way. I don't even want to go to first base. What is first base? Is first base oral? I don't know. Sometimes I just want to stay right at the edge, and I want to edge our way through it. I don't know. I like the build up. Not that I like the build up more than the act, but sometimes, like, there's a lot of value in just, like, staying in that space and, like, keeping up the passion and the intimacy that way. There's a lot of ways to be intimate without having actual penetrative sex. So I don't know what she's referring to. They do ask her about it in the couple's like, group therapy session. She doesn't really allude to it. She says she did not have a good experience. And that's all she says. So I think that's saying a lot without saying a lot. At some point Courtney says that Adam is the hottest out of the group. Because she's married, it was, like, not good timing. Because she's married, because it's on TV, because she doesn't have a strong bond with Nick, it was not wise to say that. I think that if it was not on TV, and even if it was on TV, if her and Nick were in a better place and they could joke around like that, I think it would be fine. But I think Nick felt disrespected. I think he felt emasculated. I think he felt insecure, right? I think it added to his insecurity. And clearly by her saying that, she's attracted to Adam, right? She's acknowledging that he's the hottest in the group, which is like also saying hottest versus saying like he's an attractive guy. No, it's a lustful thing, right? She is physically attracted to Adam, is how I interpret it. The way that Courtney was talking about Nick at the dinner table in the first episode, episode 7, was really pissing me off, because you're talking about this man like he's not just sitting next to you. Like you didn't come in this together. I get that you don't like him. I get that you're not physically attracted to him. You're not ready to be physical with him. But there is a way to say how you feel without being rude and disrespectful or hurting people's feelings. And I really wish she would like be aware of that. But I think that she doesn't care. I think that she enjoys it. I think she finds it funny and she finds it cute. And I hope that when she watches this back, she realizes that it's actually disgusting. Like, it's actually rude as hell to be that way. And it doesn't do her any favors. At some point when they're driving 3 hours to Oregon to see her family, Nick starts off by saying, "Let's boogie." And then she starts to say, and I thought this was going to be a positive moment. She starts to say, my grandma would say "let's boogie" a lot. And I'm thinking, this is a cute moment. Then she'll see this as like a sign that it's like that's her grandmother is with him in this space. But no, she says that because her grandmother used to say it, or when her grandmother would say it, it would always give her the ick. So now that he said it, it gave her the ick. And I'm just like, at every given moment, she's like criticizing Nick for everything. She criticized him for the type of car that he got. She criticized him because he stepped on her foot. She said, "I don't really kiss you with these lips anyway." Like every step that she gets, she's just like criticizing him. And I'm just like, I can see why you're single. And I know when people say that, it's a very mean statement. And I don't mean to be mean. I really mean like, I get it. You are a big part of the problem why you're single. You're not kind. You're self-sabotaging. You're mean. You're rude. You're nasty. You're guarded as hell. And you're nasty on top of that. Like, at least don't be guarded and not be like a bitch, but you're all things mixed together. It's really fucking sad. My other note says Courtney needs to grow the fuck up, right? She looks 45. I don't know how old she is, but it's like she needs to grow up because the way she acts is very immature for her age. They go to her parents' house, and at some point, Nick says, "I need to go to the bathroom." He goes to the bathroom and she's like, "Okay, let's talk shit about Nick." And then she's like, "Okay, well, I mean, not talk shit." No, you meant talk shit. Like you wanted to talk shit, or your family to talk shit and say negative things about him. And she clearly said, like, if my family doesn't like him, I won't like him. And then her mom says, like, "I like him." Or I think she says, "I love him. I think he's great." I don't know what she says. And then her sister says, "Yeah, I think he's great. I think that you are trying to find things wrong with him," which I really appreciate her family shutting it down, because it's like, girl, what's your problem? Why are you being rude as fuck? The man's upstairs or around the corner using your family bathroom, and you want to talk shit about him on national television, and he's going to watch this back and think like, damn, this bitch really did not like me at all. Nick is going to watch back all the instances that Courtney is like salivating at the fucking mouth to talk about him. She wants to talk about him to Caitlyn. She wants to talk about it to the other girls. She wants to like talk about it at the dinner table. And it's just like, why do you have to be so mean? And as it relates to Nick, I'm on the fence, you guys. Like, I saw him on The Circle. I thought it was cute. I can't remember his family, but when he connected with his family, I thought it was cute. Like, he was endearing. I don't watch any of those other stupid ass shows, like Perfect Match and whatever. I don't watch any dating shows except for Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, and sometimes I'll do The Ultimatum. But the other ones, they're just like very cringe for me. So I genuinely think, I think that Nick is genuine. However, I will say he did get called out in the last episode, in episode 9, where they asked him a question about anything that he self-reflected that he needs to improve on. And then he said something along the lines of, well, I'd have to think about it. Like, I don't really know. Like, I have an instance where, like, I was upset about something or something. And then the relationship expert, I forget the lady's name, she's like, bullshit. I call bullshit. Because it's true. Like, you're a 30-something-year-old man. you know, things that have bothered you or that have affected you that you want to work through. He's like, well, I need to think about something. So I think with Nick, because he's been on these TV shows and because maybe he's getting a following, I do think he's trying to be intentional about being calculated the way that he's saying things. However, I also think he's genuine in wanting love. I do think he's trying with Courtney, but shit, it's like trying with like a rock that's like covered in dirt. What can you do with that? You know what I mean? Like there's not much that he can really do with that. So I see him trying. I think he's genuine, but I also see him being strategic. But honestly, I don't blame him. Like if I was, it doesn't matter. I've never been on TV. And if I was on a TV show, I'm going to be strategic too because my image is important, right? But I think if he were smarter about it, he would do it in a way that was more subtle. And he's not smart about it. No matter if he went to MIT, he's not smart about it. And people can see through his bullshit. Mecca and Bella Jolie. Okay. Mecca, my notes say, Mecca needs to not speak. Okay. At the dinner table, he's like, you know, when I hang out with my boys, we're talking about like, who's a baddie? Who's the next one we're going to tap? And I'm just like, you're disgusting, you're married, and you're stupid. And if those were the conversations that you were having before you joined the show, why would you sign up for Married at First Sight? Because clearly you're not ready to be married. There were a lot of different conversations about like how he was being performative. I mean, he was trying to like say empowering things at the dinner table, and I just like wanted to fast forward because I'm so annoyed by him. I think, and I get it. And I know he's only cringe. What? We don't know. I think a lot of his cringe is attributed to his idiot father and attributed to his abandonment issues from his mother. So I have to give him a little bit of credit that I know it's not all him being cringe because he wants to be. It's just his life experiences have resulted in him being cringe. But I get tired of seeing him and I get tired of hearing him. And every time that he talks, he says really stupid things and they make me very angry because I see Bella Jolie. I see myself in her. I see how much she loves and cares about him. I see she's a lover girl. I see she wants love and she deserves that, right? So when I see her paired with an idiot, it pisses me off and I don't have the patience to watch it on my screen. I don't even know what this says. I don't even know what this says. I did think it was interesting that he mentions he gets sexual anxiety or like performance anxiety, because you don't hear that a lot, right? You don't hear men talk about that. But honestly, I told one of my ex-best friends, I told him, I'm like, if I were ever a man and I had to like do the deed, I would be nervous all the time. It's a lot of pressure. Like you guys do a lot of work and we're just like, well, some of us, I'm just like a pretty princess. Like do what you got to do and do it right. And that's that, right? Like I do things too, but for the most part, like you're the one that needs to do the work here, not me. So it would be a lot of work and I could see that, right? But I also wonder, like, does that stem from something else? Because there have been questions about whether or not Mecca is DL or not. And I don't know. I think I can see it straight from Sean. I don't know if I can see it about Mecca, but it could be that too, right? It could be the underlying, like, I'm not really into women. So because I'm not into women, then I may not be able to get an erection and like fully perform the act, or I may lose my erection in the middle because it's not a type of person that I'm attracted to. Just a suggestion. Michelle and Cameron, they talk about money, which I think was fine. I'm glad that he was able to talk about it openly. And I don't know what people make and I don't know what people's occupations were, but when she said 150, I thought he would have been in that ballpark. And when he said he wasn't, I wonder how far off from that ballpark he was. I know she works in tech and there is a lot of money to be made in tech. A lot of money. Technology is a future, right? So it's like, clearly she's making a lot of money and she's making more than him. He talked a little bit about feeling emasculated, but then when she reassured him, it seemed like they were fine. They're really, really, really cute together. I think Michelle is the cutest. I've said this before. She's so beautiful to me. I think she's the most beautiful cast member on this season. And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she hasn't done anything to her face versus the other ones. Like I can't say the same. I think Caitlyn is really pretty too. But anyway, Michelle talks about having anxious attachment. I was an anxious, well, I won't say was. I am a recovering anxious attachment girly. And yeah, I know that Cameron has to travel for work. She mentions her anxious attachment. So I wonder if they're foreshadowing that that's going to be an issue, right? She talks about how he communicates, how frequently he texts and calls, and whether or not it's going to be an issue, that she likes good morning texts, etc. I wonder if she's communicated to him more directly what type of communication she needs, especially if he's going to be out of state. And I hope that she took the initiative of being more direct and saying, I need this level or this frequency to be okay. And hopefully it's something that's reasonable, because there's nothing like being an anxious attachment person and then having someone that contributes to that level of anxiety. Like, it's like a really messed up feeling and place to be in. Almost done. Caitlyn and Devin. My only note says, I think there's hope, but then at the end of like the last episode, it looks like it's crashing and burning again. But I don't know. I feel like they both want it. Devin wants it more than Caitlyn, and I think Caitlyn, just like I said before, she needs therapy. She said she's been in every single toxic type of relationship there is out there, and I believe her, and I think that she needs to heal from that, and she needs to like learn better coping mechanisms and communicate and like work through everything. I just had a text come through. I didn't put my phone on do not disturb, but I should have. Nikki and Sean. When they're at dinner, Nikki whispers to him, mind you, they're all mic'd up. Nikki whispers to him and says, you know, I'm trying to figure out, how do I talk about our relationship without embarrassing you? And I know if someone would have told me that, and I know we're on TV, we're at this table, at some point they're going to ask us, if my anxiety would be like, I would leave. I would go to the bathroom. I probably wouldn't come back, because I'm like, why are you foreshadowing that you're going to talk about me that badly that it's going to embarrass me? You know what I mean? And you're a man, right? So it's like, as a man, that makes you feel even more emasculated, right? This woman is going to like tear you a new one and like run you through the mud. The fact that she said that was crazy. I was cracking up, but it was like, it was pretty messed up, you know? I put laughing my ass off with multiple O's. I do think at some point, though, they had a mature conversation as it relates to the fact that, like, their egos are, like, their defense mechanism, right? And then later, when they get in a better spot, Nikki is talking about them both being Black and how the way that they've grown up and the way that they approach things and the way that they defend themselves in their situations, it's a defense mechanism. That's the part that I was talking about. The conversation that they had, I really, really loved it. And I love that the producers kept that conversation in the season, because it's such a real thing, right? Like, I think about myself, and I think about like my mother. My mother was a single mother after my parents got a divorce. And I think about like where my hyper independence comes from. And hyper independence, while it's a good thing, it's also can be detrimental to building relationships. And sometimes like men that I date feel emasculated by me for different reasons. And the conversation that they had highlights something very real, that the way that we are and the way that we show up is very much in our defense mechanisms, or very much a reflection of like our upbringing and our life experiences, right? Like, yeah, do I want to be independent? I do, but I understand I don't want to be independent and hyper independent to the point that it affects me finding a mate, right? That I don't want. So it's like, I struggle with that. So I think her talking about that was really real, because clearly it's a struggle that she has, and potentially one that he has as well. What is it? My notes are so terrible, but I'm on the last couple. Felipe and Tori. I want to start by saying, I'm just talking drunk, but that was something that I wrote down. In the first episode, right before dinner, they asked Tori if she will lead them in prayer. Her prayer was extremely whack. Like, it was like the wackest prayer I've ever heard in my life. Like, literally, wackest prayer ever. Something about, we ask up above. What are you asking? The clouds? It was so terrible. And maybe she was nervous and on the spot, but I'm just like, girl. Anyway, I'm still concerned and questioning them not wanting, or her being intimate with him and then deciding to go lay in the living room because it was too much for her. I really still think something happened in that bedroom. Something had to have happened in that bedroom. She keeps alluding to the fact that it has more to do with him than it does with me. Everything that he did was great. I felt safe. I felt secure. And I feel like she really wants to protect him, but I'm reading between the lines and something went down, or she wasn't attracted to him, or the sex was not good. Something went down. I'm telling you, like, there is no way. Like, I've never, ever, even when, like, let me see, have I had bad sex? Bad sex. Not like terrible sex. I've never had terrible sex, thank God. Let me knock on wood, because I never want to have terrible sex. But, like, no, I'm trying to think, like, I've never had sex. I mean, yes, I've had sex with people and I'm like, I don't want to cuddle with them at all. Like, get away. I'm not really a cuddler unless, like, I really like you emotionally or, like, I love you. But there's never been a point that I've had sex with someone and I'm spending the night at their house or spending the night at my house, and I feel the need to, like, completely leave the room and go sleep somewhere else. Like, that shit, never heard of such a thing. So in my mind, something else had to have happened. This is another one where I got to take a breath. Felipe. Like, my eye started twitching more. This one, it keeps twitching. Like, and Felipe is making my eye twitch more. Felipe continues, maybe in every one of these episodes, talking about passion. This fear of him losing passion in the connection. He's like, I have a lot of passion right now. Keywords, right now, right? So basically, you're not sure when it's going to dissipate and go away. If you always want explosions, passion, energy, fire, you are not in the right place. And I'm not saying that marriages can't be that way, or you can't build the passion, fire, momentum, and keep it alive. You can, but it's not sustainable forever, right? Like, at the beginning, it's there. You have moments where you, like, keep the flirtation alive, but it's like, marriage is a lot of work. It's a partnership. It's a commitment. You're learning people. You're learning their quirks, their values. You're merging lives together, and real life happens, and real life is not always glamorous and beautiful, right? Real life, there are problems. There's health scares. There's family. There's money things. There's just shit happens, right? Where it's not always going to be like, I want to rip your clothes off and fuck you right here. Like, so, and I feel like that's what he's used to, and that's what he wants. And that's why he keeps alluding to, like, his fear that his commitment issues are going to creep up. And I'm just like, at this point, my notes say commitment issues old. I think that means his conversation about commitment issues and saying that, it's starting to piss me off, because I'm just like, okay, then why did you get married? If you're that scared, and it's been, what, a month? Why did you get married? Why are you here? How many more people do you have to talk about this with? And I'm just like, it pisses me off. It really pisses me off. He's not ready. And I don't know if he'll ever be ready, because some people are not. Some people are non-monogamous. Some people are never ready to commit to one person. Some people are never, oh my God. I was seeing the preview for the next episodes, and he said something like, I'm going to be honest, like, I like sleeping with a lot of women. Oh my God. Like, if I could ever, like, pull someone through a screen and just, like, choke him out, that's what I wanted to do. Like, he's so stupid. And some men, unfortunately, are stupid, right? And it's not that he likes sleeping with a lot of women that makes him stupid. What makes him stupid is that he likes sleeping with a lot of women. He has fear of commitment. He likes ongoing passion, and he decides to get married at first sight. That's what makes him stupid. What makes him stupid is going on a show to get married, to waste a person's time, to waste the family's time, his family's time, her family's time. That's what makes him fucking stupid, in my opinion. Last thing I'll say on Felipe, I really, really loved and admired his dad's response. It was so beautiful the way he put it. And granted, Felipe's mom is stunning. Like, she's gorgeous. So, I mean, he's like, it's not always, there's not always passion, but I'm like, that woman is gorgeous. That woman is gorgeous. And she seems like she has a fiery personality. So I think it is always passion with him. But he said, it's not always passion. And he said, you know, you go through different, I'm paraphrasing, but he said it so eloquently and so beautifully. Essentially, he said, you know, you go through different things and it's about that person. Like, no one knows me like your mother, and she's my safe port. Like, I want to cry. Like, that's so beautiful because it's true, right? Like, yes. Do I like when I date someone and it's like being around them turns me on? I love that shit. I love that shit. We go out to dinner and I just can't wait to like pounce. I love that, right? I love that. Or like I see them out in their element or at work. Not that I have anyone at work. I'm just saying when they're working or whatever, I see them in their element and it like turns me on because they're so like smart and good at what they do. Love that, right? But beyond that, like, you have to have more depth than that. And there's nothing, and I will stand by this till the day I die. There's nothing more beautiful than having a person that is going to choose you in all of your moments, right? Not just when you're hot and glamorous and they're trying to fuck, but they're going to choose you when you are not, you know, when you're sick, they're going to be by you. When you're stressed, when you're struggling, when you're angry, when you're frustrated, when you need support, when you need a hug. Someone that's like 10 toes down, solid, right? And someone that's going to make you feel safe to be all those things and know at the end of the day, they're still going to choose you. There is nothing like that. Nothing like that that compares. And Felipe is after temporary things that are great, that feel good. And then he's on to the next. And he's said it many times. And I'm surprised he's been able to articulate it that clearly. But I'm like, my guy, if you know this about you, what the fuck are you doing here? Okay. That pissed me off. But very interested to see what comes out of these next set of episodes on Thursday. We got like 5 days to go, and I can't wait because it's just, this has been a very, very interesting season. And there's Jack. We're going to go for a WALK. I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching.